Hey everybody, it's Andy here, aka Montoli. We're back for another vintage prelim today, and we're going to be playing some Scam. And not a whole lot different about this particular Scam list from my previous builds. I am more focused on Feed the Swarm, as Oath of Druids is a problem for this deck. It's almost impossible for me to beat it, even with Feed the Swarm. It's still, I wouldn't say great for me, particularly on the draw, but we do have the play set of them between the front or the main and the side. Other than that, I think it's relatively stock. For those of you unaware, basically the idea behind this deck is that we are trying to disrupt our opponent's hand with griefs and thought seizes and be able to reanimate whatever it is we're removing from our opponent's deck, or it could be just a Troll of Cause of Doom, and cast a bunch of cheap 1-2 drops in Deathrite Shaman, Bowmasters, and Void Walkers to be able to close the game out. Of course, we do have opposition agents. Goes without saying why that card is good. It's a grossly underplayed in Vintage, and I do think it is a very powerful card. But no further ado, guys, we actually do have a round one opponent waiting for us. If you haven't done so already, I do appreciate it if you like, comment, subscribe, and of course, as always, I appreciate hanging out. We'll see you round one. So we've run into Sandy Dog, and who won the die roll? Sandy did win the die roll. We do have triple disruption turn one, but we really need to find a land to make this work, and I'm not sure it's going to be enough for us on the draw, especially if Sandy is actually playing initiative. So we, unfortunately, I think, have to mulligan this. There is a world where we could, because we're on the draw, try and find a land, and of course our hand becomes very good if we did have just one single land in it, but I don't think it's worth gambling here. We're going to mulligan this one. It's a bit awkward, but I think it's worth keeping. We'll put a Bayou back for now. Let's see if we're playing initiative. It is indeed initiative. So hopefully my opponent is going turn one Thalia. We will probably go basic Deathrite Shaman. That changes significantly if we draw a Reanimate off the top. Well, probably not if they play a Thalia. Cleric, okay. This could be a Peacekeeper. Oh, you know what this is? Containment Priest. It's actually pretty good against me. We're going to need some help off the top here, without a doubt. But I don't think it's worth me waiting around trying to cast a grief here. We're just going to be reliant on the top of our library to help us here. But the Chalice at 1 was quite good against what we were trying to do. Lauren. Take the White Plume Adventurer there. And we'll just, excuse me, we'll troll a Casa Doom here for another swamp. There's no point in holding on to the troll here because there's just no world where we're going to get up to 6 mana in this particular game. So we'll see if they just cast Lauren here. I don't know what they drew off the top. But hopefully it's not an initiative creature. Human, okay. Oh, funny enough, Thalia gets me pretty good here because I didn't play with my Chalice, but yeah, I still have one more basic there that we can get should we ever get towards the initiative. It's again pretty awkward. Another 1-drop. And this match, of course, is a lot better when we're on the play and able to disrupt what my opponent is doing. Lauren. Peacekeeper. Yeah, like all the cards in my hand are dead. Except for the Mox. Don't really want to give them a target for Lauren, but they're at the critical 3 mana in their deck, and they're going to be able to cast the majority of the cards in the deck. The only one they can't cast is Seasoned Dungeoneer and the Chancellor. Take 2. I feel like this game has gone on for quite some time, but of course Sandy is probably double or triple queued right now. They're down to 19 minutes versus my 23 minutes. Yeah, I mean we should get going here. They are going to mess with my my Moxes because they've got the Lauren, but not much we can do there. But we still could hardcast a Grief if we find it. We could hardcast a Shieldred. Problem is I've got a substantial amount of 1-drops in my deck right now that they got with that Chalice. It's actually an interesting play that they put it on 1. It's a very unorthodox line. Strip Mine was a good one. They're just going to cast a Dungeoneer. We're pretty much dead. Yeah, we can concede here. Okay, so we definitely want to feed the Swarms. They're not amazing in this matchup, but I do think they're reasonable. Opposition Agent is decent at preventing them from getting a land from their initiative, or searching if they go into the throne. Sorry about all the barking in the background there, guys. Voidwalker's pretty solid at stealing the initiative. Shieldred is okay. It is a big body. But they do run Caracas. Like, do I want Null Rod? I don't think so. Probably could cut a basic here. In truth, I think I like the basics more than I like the bayous, to be honest. Mental misstep is fairly unimpactful. Let's try this out. I think this is fine. Okay. This hand is just a little bit too slow for what we're trying to do. It's got a lot of the right tools in it. So I do have a turn 1. Shieldred is really powerful, but I think it's really a major mana cost investment. So I think this is the card to go away for me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Verdant Catacombs, pass. I'm going to see if they do a turn 1 initiative. Now, this depends if they have a Chancellor, of course. Chancellor disrupts my plan significantly, but because if they do go off with a turn 1 with no Chancellor, like a turn 1 initiative creature, we can go and get their land with the opposition agent. And then have a turn 2 Feed the Swarm or a Doughty Voidwalker up. So they do have a Chancellor, so that does screw my stuff up somewhat. Well, not somewhat, it does screw stuff up, but it is what it is. Is this Chalice again? Okay. So I'm going to burn my Dark Ritual right now. I guess I don't have to do it. It just gets countered, but it's going to get countered by this as well. Doesn't really matter. Chalice at 1, looking solid. Hopefully they don't have any white mana here. I mean, I'm not looking forward to getting wastelanded if they either, but they do have the white. Okay. There's the white plume. So no Solitude in hand. I probably am going to leave the white plume for this turn. Because I'm going to take some damage and permanent mana value. Because a far more dangerous card for me is Seasoned Dungeoneer here. maybe could have played this a little bit better, but let's see. See if they forge here. I mean, they got to be suspicious for removal here too if they do decide to go into the forge, but maybe they will. Nope, they're forging. Okay. So they did have the Dungeoneer. Okay. They can trap me here. Mm-hmm. So what do I want to do here? This is going on tap. I feel like the most mana efficient play is playing the agent here. Hopefully we draw land here would be good. We didn't technically draw land, but what's unfortunate for me is that I do need to feed the swarm here. So we're just going to do that now. So next turn, I guess what I do is, I mean, I will be able to chump this thing this turn. But I can't Bowmaster. But if I go into the Forge, it will trade. First things first, let's see if we can get the initiative here. Solitude is a problem. Very glad I sided out the misstep thinking about swords with the Chalice on one. Yeah, that trades there, and then we can actually cast the Dungeoneer next turn if we see fit. So we're going to be able to trap next turn anyways if we attack with the Doughty Voidwalker. So I think what I'm going to do here is kill the Seasoned Dungeoneer. It's going to deal us 4 damage, unfortunately. Don't think I need to cycle right. Well, I would like to play a land. Get a basic, because there's no reason not to. And we're just going to kill the Dungeoneer. And we're going to pass turn. Had we drawn a basic there, or a land off the top of our deck, that would have been really strong. But we have to hope our opponent does not have another initiative creature here. Okay. That one worked out pretty good, all in all. Now, I do think Chalice is definitely a lot worse on the draw here for us. They do actually have swords in their sideboard, so maybe I do bring in the misstep. No Rod is definitely a little bit clunkier. Let's do this. I think this is fine. Well, we do have turn 1 Douthie. We've also got turn 1 Grief Reanimate. Like, it's pretty powerful. This is the best hand we've had so far. It'd be a lot better if we had a Dark Ritual. Okay, Double Chancellor is pretty brutal on us. But depending how powerful my opponent's start is, yes, we'll see. Cleric, okay. Yep, strong start. Mana Crypt is one of their best draws for sure. So 3 unknown cards in hand. White Plume, okay. I mean, it's a strong start. Let's hope there's no Chalice that comes down here, or Black Lotus after this. That would be devastating. Because I'm going to need to burn this Mox in order to be functional here. Get rid of these 2 Chancellor triggers. We're very fortunate to have the Mox, because otherwise we'd be in a lot of trouble. I guess we could burn our Grief if we had to, but that's not optimal. What is interesting here? Now this is going to go up to a 5 next turn, and this will trade with it if I reanimate it. So first things first, let's burn our Mox. I think we pitch the Op Agent. Because the 2 drops are more valuable here. Let's do that. Let's see what we're dealing with here. I do have an Archon. Okay, Archon is troublesome for me, but not as much as the White Plume. But what I could do here is I could take their Chancellor and reanimate that. Or is it better for me to take their White Plume? I feel like it's got to be Chancellor, right? Like that is 7 damage I'm taking though. I think it's actually White Plume. Hopefully we can keep the initiative this way. This is going to go get us a land, which is going to set us up next turn that we don't have to play around Archon. Let's go and get a basic. And they're not going to be able to go into the Forge here. So unless they actually draw an initiative creature here, I feel like we're going to have a chance to get ahead here. Yes, I acknowledge the Archon is going to be able to steal it back, but we're going to get ourselves into a race here. And they do have Mana Crypt. Now, if they do block my white, if they attack with their White Plume, I will trade. I'm not going to give them the initiative for free. There's their planes. It's Archon. Okay. So we don't want Op Agent. Reanimate is still pretty good here. Yeah. So again, just continue to keep going and getting basics. This is our last basic. Now they are going to be able to steal the initiative from me here next turn. But I don't think there's much I can do about that. Like I don't want to get Troll, right? Like how good is Troll here? So that would put me into the stash. I will get in before them. And this expedites me even further if I get a White Plume. But Troll hits very hard. It just also takes huge chunks of my life. Do a White Plume here. I think it's just better. I really am quite cautious at wanting to take huge swaths of my life total here. My opponent has that Mana Crypt. Like we can keep within range here. It's pretty decent. Like this is going to put me to 13. My opponent's going to put me to 11 next turn. We want stash, right? That allowed me to play two spells next turn. Okay, we just have to hope my opponent just doesn't draw anything here. like it's pretty important that they didn't draw anything, any creatures. We kind of need them not really to have anything, is the truth of it, but okay, great. It's going to take us into the catacombs here. 4 plus 5 is 9. Yeah, we are losing this. Flyer is a problem, without a doubt. Let's see what happens. So another 1, 2, 3. One more white source, and they can actually cast the Chancellor, which is pretty devastating for me. I will get into the throne, but the throne mightn't be enough for me because I need to be able to block this the following turn. But this will be 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So if they lose the Mana Crypt flip, I can win here. Perhaps. Okay, they did lose it. That's good for me. So we'll put them into trap, which is suboptimal, but all right, let's hope, guys. Nice. All right. That was a close one. So we were gonna go. I'd be interested to see what we would have got out of the throne there, but we were hitting for 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we definitely had lethal there, especially if they didn't have removal, which of course they didn't. And let's say they did have a swords. Let's say they had a swords, for instance. They removed our big creature, let's say our menace creature there. We were going to go into the throne. We were going to be able to untap everything with White Plume. Would have been able to use Douthie for their swords, perhaps. Yeah, we had some options, but we'll take that. That was a nice win. Okay, guys, here we are in round 2. Unfortunately, we didn't win the die roll here. We're going to be playing against a Lura's player with all likelihood here. And this deck really wants to be going first, if it's able to. Be able to take the appropriate cards out of your opponent's hand. So let's see what happens here. Okay. Yeah. Keep that. That's pretty devastating. Them having the turn 1 Lavinia here. Not much I can do about it. So what if they don't have a force of will here? What I can do, I mean, I really want to get that Lurrus out of their hand. One of the ways I can do that is by actually attempting to Dark Ritual here and casting a Bowmaster. Versus untapping, playing a land. I mean, I'm not doing anything next turn if this fails, but I have a lesser chance of the Dark Ritual resolving on my turn. So I am going to go get a basic here. I am going to attempt a Dark Ritual, and we'll see what happens. Okay, that worked out pretty good. Now, negation is on here. That worked out pretty good. Let's see if I can resolve this. So what I could do, I really hate to gut my Douthie Voidwalker just sacrificing one of the griefs, but it's probably not terrible, you know. But getting to untap with the Douthie Voidwalker is pretty strong. So I'm 100% wastelanding. I know that this turn. How badly do I want to resolve my grief here? It's probably pretty good. I think I'm going to do it. They might be also apt to let this resolve, thinking that they're sitting on Saga. And of course, they don't want to lose their Lurrus here, so they might force. Okay, it looks like it's in. So we can definitely take Lurrus here. This Lavinia is more of a problem than Samwise. I do acknowledge that Samwise will get their fetch land back, but I think that's okay. Let's get rid of Lavinia here. It is definitely the more problematic card. In a Wasteland now. And we're going to have to do a bit of hoping here. But this is what this deck does. It guts itself to some extent to be able to disrupt to a critical point. They're just going to Samwise here main, or they find something else. Okay. Okay, I don't really mind having the land here. Attack with this guy. Just going to play the swamp. Yeah, we're just got to hope from here that my opponent bricks off. Okay, don't like that. I mean, I have Ancestral covered with a Bowmaster, but obviously them drawing 3 cards is suboptimal. Take through time. Oh, okay, that's a pretty good one. Yeah, not happy about that. But we have a whole bunch of good draws here. I wouldn't mind seeing an Op Agent, a Voidwalker, Wasteland. We are chipping away here. Now, what can they do next turn? They could draw a Lauren Revealed, and they could draw that, but that will come at a price. Urza Saga is a card that concerns me, but I think I would rather have them play it and me surprise them than them know it's coming, because they could Wasteland me off the Wasteland. And Saga is one of the few cards that could, I think, pressure me in a way I'm not happy with. Okay, Deathray Shaman is pretty reasonable. They might force a will this one. They didn't. I don't know that I'm going to expose the Wasteland here. I don't really want to. Yep. They know they have a negation. I think I can just be proactive here going after their graveyard. Where I could get punished for that is if they have something like a Savine's Reclamation, but I just trying to keep them off a Treasure Cruise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Couldn't do it anyway, so I think that was a bit of a bad play from me. Okay. Now I think I can play it out here. All right, I can wait this turn. Having the Bowmaster here is quite nice. going to play the Bowmaster. I suspect they have Force of Will, but I think it's okay. They might pitch a Force of Will here to stop this. Can I just be proactive here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't think it's worth it. And them drawing cards now is extremely dangerous because any draw 3, they still have to deal with the Bowmaster. Okay, so they did deal with the Bowmaster. Okay. They did have a treasure cruise. That's so funny. That's quite a burn for me because it took away a lot of my fodder, and they still have 2 mana. So that's what I was talking about earlier about being proactive with it. But see if they have another swords here. Nice play from my opponent there. We're going to take that cruise. They have the swords, okay. Well, I am just going to proactively eat that. I know they have a negation in hand. Maybe I should make them pitch it here before they can cast it. So I have that in my yard. But if they cast it, I can just eat that. This does allow me to cast a troll if they let it resolve. Okay, we don't need to do anything here. This is, yeah. Lauren revealed, yep. The reason I wanted to be proactive eating the swords was because I don't want them snapcastering in response. So that's 3 of their swords. I don't know how many they're actually running, but they can't pitch here. It has to resolve. They're at 1 life. Okay. Deathrite Shaman looked pretty good there. That was the MVP. I do think Null Rod is pretty decent here. You can also see an extra feed the Swarm for Urza Saga. I don't mind Chalice on the draw against these decks. I don't know if I want all 3. Two-leg Voidwalker. I could see Shieldred maybe not making the cut here, but The problem with Shieldred, and one of the reasons why I cut it from earlier versions, it's just really difficult to cast, and the Swords to Plowshares does make it, so it's not great. So just something to think about. Maybe I don't need all the Null Rods, but the Null Rods are not easily removed. It's one of the things I do like about them. Deathrite was really strong there, I will say that. I also like Thoughtseize in theory because they pull Lurrus to hand. It's not a dead draw, like mid game, mid to late game. How much do I like Feed the Swarm? I think I like it. Maybe I just cut Troll because Troll is, yes, Troll helps me get lands, but reanimating a Troll isn't fantastic because once again, much similar to Shieldred, just a Swords to Plowshares can undo that. And I think it doesn't hurt as much when we're disrupting our opponent at a low casting cost. Okay, I think this is reasonable. Why I think Chalice is reasonable is it just shutting off like recurring Lotus with Lurrus shenanigans and baubles, the things that they use to really get ahead of you. Okay. Yeah, I think this hand's fine. We've got two nice turn one plays. Yeah, so just about to say, Saga's maybe the card I don't want to see. Oh, wow. Pretty good start for them. I feel like we're going to cast a Deathrite Shaman here. And next turn we have the option of casting two spells. And we can lead with Thoughtseize to give us some indicate. Oh no. They're going to pull Lurrus here and play Lurrus? That would be terrible. Mm-hmm. Basic lands. Yep, that's what they're doing. Okay. Not pleased about this, but Dark Ritual is actually decent here. Let's see what we're... Ooh, they did have a negation. And a Treasure Cruise. And another Urza's Saga. I'm going to take negation here. Now, I have 4 mana, which is pretty good. what I could do. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. They should not be able to. I would have done this differently had I thought about it a little bit more, because I'm thinking I want to catch my opponent off guard with Luris. Oh, they just left it. Wow, I'm surprised they didn't put the Lotus in the yard. I think I'm just going to thought seize their treasure cruise here and try and get them with the Bowmaster. Okay. I mean, all in all, that wasn't terrible for me. They could turn off my Deathrite with a Needle here. It's true. Soul Ring, okay. Null Rod's looking quite good here. Wonder if they just strip mine me. Yep. Mm-hmm. Saga. See if I can bait them here. Yeah, they're not falling for that. Do have to be careful here. Like, I'm trying to give my opponent the illusion that it's safe to attack. No, no land, please. They mightn't this time. But let's see. It's hard to play around double Bowmaster there, but yeah. Our mana lined up really nicely, and it was quite a good showcasing for Deathrite Shaman in this particular match. Null Rod obviously was the MVP in this particular game, but the preceding game was definitely Deathrite Shaman. Okay, guys. Okay, guys, here we are in round 3 of the prelim. We've won the die roll, which is great. Okay, so we do see Aluris here. Okay, so it's a little bit risky, but I do think I gamble and I keep this because I'm going to have triple grief if everything works out. And if I can find a land, I can follow up Bowmasters. Yeah. Now, this becomes awkward if my Mox gets countered, but I don't think that will likely be the case. Let's see what we're dealing with here. They have double force of will. So that's pretty good. They're going to be able to stop me here. I guess I can take both force of wills out of their hand. What do I want to do here? Because I'm going to do it again. It's probably fine. I'm going to take a force of will here. Go again. Got a Bowmaster. Force of will. I mean, I'm going through a lot of stuff here for sure, but the truth of the matter is that this is still a pretty strong start for me. It's certainly a Soul Ring for sure. And now if we can find a land, like it's pretty good for me. Not optimal, but still pretty powerful. Misstep should be strong here. Okay, they're going to play and do Lurrus in one go here. Not as Dees. So what is going to happen here? We're going to play Lurrus, but they can't actually do anything with the Lurrus at the moment. The other option is that I can wasteland them and stay off of Bowmasters for a turn. Well, what happens once Lurrus is in play? They will have Dress Down. If they want to Dress Down here, that's fine. The risk in what I'm doing here is if they find an Urza Saga, it could be difficult for me. Okay, they are going to Dress Down. They are chipping away here. Oh, Bowmasters, that was sweet. And that does work. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad I'm getting an opportunity to kill the Bowmaster here. Doesn't really matter, but Deathrite should be helpful here if I can get it in. We did. Great. Yeah, we're in a bit of a tough spot here. Like, as long as my opponent can't pull Lurrus and put it into their hand and play it in the same turn, I feel like we're doing okay, but okay. So that's next turn. So I'm going to have to find a way to eat that Bowmaster. That's not what I need. Yeah, super awkward. Okay, well, they've made the decision for me. And they got two spells in there I can't really do anything with, so it's pretty tough on me. Yeah, they're just going to cast the Soul Ring here. Don't think that's where I have to pick my fight. Like, it's pretty awkward, but Time Bolt, yeah. So we are losing here. So I can reanimate Grief here. Or I could reanimate their Bowmasters. And I might have to reanimate their Bowmaster because their Bowmaster is a problem for me. Okay. I guess I could have attacked with my Deathrite first. Try and set that up. Yeah, it's on top of Mana Vault. I don't want to take any damage. It's pretty smart. I'd love a land off the top. Sure. Distress down, yep. Yeah, I mean, dress down is going to be good. Well, that does work. If they don't have removals, a way to stop this, this is pretty strong. But I definitely have to do it. And they did. Yep, just one mana short doing that. Yep, they stop it. Okay. No, we can't get in there. We are losing. But this is what Lurrus does. They will draw at least one card a turn extra because of the dress down, and I can't remove it. We're really just under as a Saga away from being in a lot of trouble. Yep. It's pretty good. My Bowmasters are off. Not going to counter that. They just bounced Lurrus too. Yeah, I think I will fight over that one. I know they can replay it with Lurrus. Yeah, the dress down is really powerful in this spot. Hmm. Just a lot of cards and a lot of mana. So this game has been lost now. We have just gone way too long without finding a mana. This is we're on turn 8, and I have a Mox in play. I've only seen a Wasteland this game. I do think I am going to drain my opponent here. I'll take the Paradoxical out, come out of their yard, and otherwise, if I'm not draining, I'm not doing anything. Like the Bowmaster themselves don't do much here because they're just shut off with the dress down. It's a really nice combo, actually. And so, yeah, they time volt us. Yep. Yeah, this is a byproduct of just a really powerful start from my opponent. And of note, I griefed them 3 times and they were able to get around it. But typically I wouldn't be as worried, but double force of will was a problem. Maybe I just didn't handle that correctly. I don't know. Definitely want all these, and I could see a third Feed the Swarm coming in. We'll cut this. I might be able to shave on a land. It's cheating a little bit. Shieldred is good, but I don't like it with Dress Down. Dress Down is just so good against me. I'm not going to bring in Mindbreak Trap here. I feel like we have game against this deck. One of the problems with what I'm doing versus what my opponent is doing is that they have the ability to go over top of me with that dress down combo that they had, which just completely negated the hate of my deck. Like if they were POing and drawing those cards through a Bowmaster, they would have been dead. But because they had the dress down, it just undid everything I was trying to accomplish. Okay, so I think this is a good hand. Now look, if my opponent has Force of Will, there's not a lot I can do about it. So here's the question. Do I just want to grief? I think I do. And then Op Agent? Like grief. Guess we get rid of the Bowmaster here, right? Not sure what's correct here. Let's see what we're up to. So they do have the misstep. And they have their own Bowmaster, which is pretty rough on me, given what I just set up here. Do I just take their Bowmaster? Or do I leave them with that Soul Ring? So look, I might be able to get them here with Op Agent. That's why I'm doing it this way. They're going to misstep this, almost assuredly. Now they might actually not because they're telegraphing I have a reanimate. But wouldn't I have reanimated first? Maybe not. I don't know. See if they want to misstep here. Now they just learn. Oh, ancestral. Geez. Okay. See, I have to flash it now, and they can lure reveal. They know I have it. I don't think I want to go after their strip mine here. I think I will conceal it. I will go after their underground, see if they don't play a saga. Just trying to hold them off with the Luris, but that mana vault does look really good here. They do have Dress Down in hand. They also have a Bowmaster. So I can't really profitably attack into them here, but they are at 12 life. So the Bowmaster will come down. Mm-hmm. I am going to proactively do this again. The Deathrite is definitely doing some good work here. Okay, they have another one. force their hand here. And they might actually dress down here in response, but I think I'm okay with that. And Bowmaster, see, okay, glad we forced their hand there. Otherwise, that could have been a little more ugly. I guess we reanimate grief here, right? Double dress down. How do I feel about those POs? Well, they can PO 3 of them. Yeah, we're just going to keep chipping away here as much as we can. I'm not going to attack in here. I might attack in with my grief next turn. It's not really doing a whole lot, and I feel like every creature I can get off the table for them is significant. If they want to dress down here, go for it. Okay, that's great for me. Then maybe they're trying to treasure cruise here. Maybe that's what they're doing. Seems pretty reasonable. Now they can dress down here as well. Okay. It's not unreasonable what they just did there for sure. Fetch lands are turned off here. Okay, they did find a Mox. Okay, that's really good for them. Mm-hmm. Go into fetch here. I could have bought you. Double block. This thing's pretty big now. But I do feel like the opposition agent is likely doing some solid work here. I'm going to get in with my grief. Do I kill their Orc army here? Or do I kill their Orcish Bowmaster? I feel like we kill the Orc army here. It's just one more thing they can PO back to their hand, though. Like I'm kind of just all in on on my Deathrite Shaman at this point in time. Once again, I am not going to wait around for my opponent. I'm going to just drain them here. And 2 more turns here. As long as Lurrus doesn't come down this turn. Interesting decision point as to whether to kill the Bowmaster or the Orcish army token. But because they have PO in hand, I really want to limit what they can draw with the PO. Bowmaster, okay. Yep, oh, they have another Bowmaster. Oh, that's really smart. So if they find another... Yeah, they did too. They can Bowmaster me again. Yeah, really smart, man. Yeah, we're losing this one. Yep. Yeah, really well done. Well, we're going to need some help here. Yep, we're going to lose this one, guys. My opponent is playing well here, and that was a pretty sweet line. I like that. Given the restraints that they had, I think that that was a fairly low prevalence play. Now, of course, Academy makes a lot of things possible, but this one is, yeah, this one's over. We can concede this one. They're just drawing too many cards, but yeah, that was a good match for sure, and I feel like we're a little bit outclassed by that deck. Round 4. Let's see if we can get a 3-1 today. We did win the die roll. Which is pretty important. I don't think this player is a regular Vintage player, but they do pop up when there are showcases and things like that, and they will play, and they were playing Jewel the last time that I ran into them. So very important for a deck like ours to be on the play against Jewel, if that's indeed what they are playing. This player, I think, has a ability to play with some range. Okay, what do we got here? Yeah, I mean, it's awkward, so it's Lurrus. Okay. This is somewhat contingent on me being able to resolve a Mox Jet. My opponent's not going to counter this. I'm gambling. It'd be a huge coup if they did. Get rid of Troll here. Going to be a little bit of an awkward video here. I do apologize. My opponent's double queuing. This is like a grinder like Sandy we played in round 1. Spell Pierce and PO don't matter. Treasure Cruise likely doesn't matter. Pro, but not thrilled about it, but likely okay. So we're going to take Force Wheel here. We're going to cycle this, and I'm going to go and get a basic swamp. I'm going to play a basic swamp, and I'm going to play a Deathrite Shaman. And next turn, we can consider Voidwalker or Bowmaster, whatever suits us. Probably Voidwalker, I would think. Just going to pay mana for the probe, or they find something here. It's fairly decent, believe it or not. It is the most mana efficient play. I'll just sit, they're going to think I'm sitting on Bowmasters when in actuality I've got an op agent. So if it's a fetch, ooh, they walked into it. This is really a big play for us here. Oh, they found Force of Will. Okay. Spell Pierce down. We almost got away with it, guys. That would have been really sweet for us had that happened. But that Treasure Cruise is starting to look pretty juicy for my opponent here. So I am going to have to start chewing at their graveyard right away. Best top deck for us, 100% is a land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're one away. Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we need a land here. I mean, they can't do it. So it's a Treasure Cruise, a sorcery. So anyways, first things first, let's do this. Play around days. I guess I actually couldn't play around days the way I did that, so that was pretty poor. And then we're just going to start chewing away at their graveyard here. Once again, we're going to go get basics. We will eventually find our way into a bayou if that's what we indeed need. Nope, we'll chew that Ponder up. And next turn we can eat something and Bowmasters. So this is the exact same deck that we just played. So they can do it here. It's pretty good. A dress down is just ruining me. Like it's just this particular prelim playing against this deck. Like the dress down has 100% been the all-star for them. It's just so disruptive to a hate strategy. Like for permanence on the table. Like people run it. Oof. Ugh. Yeah. Yeah. Well, pretty ugly stuff here. Could set this at 2 to keep those dress downs out, but it's pretty lousy. Hurt their POs here as best I can. Will once again eat something out of their graveyard here while I can. I get in, I'm going to attack them for 2. Yep. Yep, can't stop Luris. Cast your Lotus. Ooh, Time Walk, that's a good one. Cruise is gone. Problem with the line I'm taking here, it is possible that my opponent can catch me with a force of will, but it is what it is. Yep, they can dress down. It's pretty good. I guess there was a reason to do that the other way, isn't there? At least I didn't gain any life. We have time walk here. Something to consider. Like look at the way they're just circumventing my bowmasters here. Like it's just really kind of crazy, right? Like the dress down just going to go to the yard here, or does Voidwalker get it? Probably just goes to the yard, right? Maybe it goes into Voidwalker does get it this time. Okay, the Voidwalker did not get it. Pretty disappointing. Well, though they might go and get a Pithing Needle for my death right here. But if I can somehow make this work, where my opponent makes a construct and I flash in my op agent and it works, I will get whatever it is they're doing instead of them getting a needle. I mean, the question is, do I just do it now? I mean, I'll wait for them to tap. Guess I'll do it now. Oh, interesting. So the dress down just comes down. Yep. Probably just going to eat this out of their graveyard here. I mean, maybe I won't. Okay. You got it. Nothing I can do about it. Once again, dress down just ruining me here. Yep, now their POs are on. Yeah. Okay, something noted. Like Scam can't beat this deck because of dress down. And I feel like my deck has performed really well today. I'm getting outvalued by dress down. Yep. No problem for them at all. They have to kill me here though now. They have to basically find Vault Key to be able to beat me here. I would think. A Swords does a pretty good impression too. But I am going to be able to drain my opponent and hit them for 3 with the Doughty Voidwalker in the least. Now, if they dress down and a turn here, again, which they can do if they have another one. They have 11 cards in hand here. I mean, we can have 6. I can't do anything here. But yeah, dress down. Just MVP for my opponent's deck. They have 4 of the main deck, so it's really extremely disruptive to what I'm trying to do. They're just going to PO again. Comes Luris. Yep. Yep. Okay, that's good news for me. Let's see if they've got a swords here. There is Time Walk here, so let's take a look and see what we can hit with this Thoughtseize. Missed up. So that is game. Yeah, okay, right. So I just attack him with my Doughty Voidwalker and drain. Okay. So I think we got a little bit lucky there. Those dress downs are pretty savage. But we did see how good that Null Rod was for us in one of these matches. I still, once again, I do think Chalice of the Void is definitely worth a consideration. I think Shieldred is a little bit clunky, despite it's very good against their deck if I could get it to work. Once again, Swords to Plowshares, not optimal with Troll. I think it's more important to have it as a mana sink. I have really enjoyed the basics on this deck as well. Opposition Agent seems good. Do we want another Feed the Swarm? Probably not, but it's possible because one of the ways that we can lose is Urza's Saga. But perhaps Needle is just better. I do wonder, do we want Mindbreak Trap? It doesn't seem very good, you know. I could see maybe having a third Swarm. Think I can take out a land. It's a little bit of cheating, but actually I don't really like that. I wish I could take that back. I think it's unnecessary for me to cheat that much. Okay. What does this hand do for us? I mean, Deathray Shaman was very good there. But this is a very land-heavy hand. I believe we can do better. This deck is built to... If we find a land, it's pretty good. Believe it or not, I'm going to get rid of the second grief here. This is a risk. I mean, we're in a game too. I think we have a game to give here. And I don't like going down to 5. And this hand is really quite good if I can make it work. And we do have the added bonus of mental misstep to buy us a turn. Now, if they go off on us, yeah, it's not ideal. And we're putting a lot of stake in finding a land here, but it was a very difficult decision as to what I wanted to actually put on the bottom of my deck there. One of the reasons I kept the Feed the Swarm, and I realize I have no mana in my hand here, and getting the second grief is probably not a bad decision, but one of the ways that I can lose here is to a quick Urza Saga, and if I do happen to hit a land, it is very possible that I can just Dark Ritual, Grief, Dark Ritual, Feed the Swarm, Reanimate. That's what I'm thinking about. Okay. This deck, it's hard when it mulligans as low as it does. Do I want to let that go? The bait is just too good to resist. If they have an ancestral, yeah, it sucks, but okay. We did not find a land. So I'm desperately needing to get rid of that Urza Saga here. I have a turn to do it. So I do need to find a black producing mana. Next turn. Okay. Like, I think we have a pretty good chance to win this game here if I find a black producing mana next turn. It's no guarantee they didn't find a Flusterstorm or a Spell Pierce or something like that to be able to win it, but if I can go Dark Ritual, reanimate Grief, take whatever it is they have in their hand, and then feed the Swarm, like, that's really powerful. Okay, not thrilled that they went for a Ponder, but what this means is that if I find a land, like Force of Will won't do it. I guess Misstep could. Chooses to not shuffle. All right. Let's see if we can find a black producing mana here, guys. Or a Wasteland. A Wasteland is adequate for sure. We didn't get it. Okay. Very disappointing. There it was. Next one. Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's what we signed up for, though, right? I like the way we're set up here. What I was trying to say a little bit earlier is that this hand, this deck, the more you mulligan, the more impotent it becomes because there is a distinct tax to when you're using cards like Grief, which is our predominant plan here. Yep. I like it. Yeah, pretty strong hand. Definitely taking that. And I'm just going to main phase cast opposition agent here. I'm just not going to worry about it. Not going to play coy here and try and get them. They play their Ruby Saga. I'll Wasteland the Saga. Once again, dress down does cause difficulties in areas, but opponent is keeping that in hand. How? Oh, I was going to say that's really ballsy against me. Yep. So what's the chance they found a force here? Probably not great. I think I'm going to slam the null rod here and try and make them play fair. It's a little bit greedy, but they didn't find something I think we're solid here. It did get in. Okay, so we had a Stone Rain there. Obviously, Time Walk could be awkward. Okay, they didn't find a land. Yeah, we got it. Like, there's no way they were getting out of that. We were going to wasteland them there, hold up Bowmaster. But very nice win for us, guys. Um, in truth, I feel like this deck performs extremely well. There, put our actual list up. As you can see, I was building the deck that I played the last 2 rounds as we were playing there. But this deck has felt really good to me, and it's become more. It's more than just a pet deck for me. Like I do think that this is a deck that you can titrate accordingly towards what is in the meta game right now. And as you saw, I was not really ready for dress down in this particular build, and I'm not actually sure how I'm supposed to be ready for dress down. Something I'm going to have to think about. We got through it the once, but we didn't get through it in round 3, and it was just absolutely stellar in both of them. It just basically circumvented things like my Orcish Bowmasters, my opposition agents, making it so they were able to do whatever they wanted with POs, and having 4 of them, I think, was a great strategy main deck. That Dress Down is a card that has grown exponentially for me over the last couple of years. It's just such a good card against so many things in Vintage, and in the least, it cycles. So, anyways, let's talk about our deck though. Yeah, I thought the deck was really solid. I do think Shieldred is probably a card that we can get rid of. There are spots where you can, turn one Dark Ritual into it, and there's just some decks that really can't beat it, like Bizarre decks, like Cradlevine or Sweevine really struggle against it. But outside of that, it's Swords to Plowshares is just such a predominant card right now in the metagame. Lurrus is without a doubt the #1 deck. I mean, I haven't looked at what the statistics are saying, but that is my own opinion. I feel like the deck is just everywhere, and so I think I likely will be making that cut, and I could see myself very easily putting a second Null Rod back into the main. I really do like Feed the Swarm. I think this card's got a lot of utility, and so I could see that. I also could see something like a Miser's Pithing Needle being brought in, just to being able to turn off something like Urza Saga from getting the constructs. But yeah, anyways, guys, as always, appreciate you hanging out. This was a really fun prelim, and felt a little bit short of getting the 4-0, but that's okay. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and we're going to see you next time.